Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. Welcome back to the Trans Day of Visibility celebration on GDQ Hotfix. I am Helix. And I mean, as you can see, there were a lot of really cool runs already today, and coming up, we have Dementium 2 HD, Crow Country, Luigi's Mansion, and Celeste. If you missed anything over the course of the day so far, I highly encourage you to make sure you are subscribed to youtube.com/gamesdonequick because VODs will be uploaded there. Highly recommend the Rift of the Necrodancer Impossible Showcase that just happened. That was phenomenal. We are now moving into our horror block with Astrid, the horror girl, running Dementium 2 HD. Astrid, how you doing?
I am doing good. I am always excited to play Dementium 2 because this is probably my favorite speedrun that I do. It's silly, it's wacky, it's goofy, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm always here for wacky and goofy.
So, Dementium 2 is I actually think that I may have discovered what this game is actually about. Because I've talked about this game in various different ways, saying, I don't know what this game is about. I have no idea what's going on. This game could be about anything. But I actually think that I know what it's about, and I will talk about it in the moments that I get a chance. So, but first, we'll get going on the run. So the timer here is going to start when I hit easy difficulty. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, this glitch. Okay. 1 second, this glitch is happening. Which is so funny because, like, it hasn't done this in about 7 months. It always waits for a fun event where things are happening.
That's a classic.
It is a classic, right? Give me just 1 second and it will literally get taken care of.
Well, while you're doing that, I am going to shout out Summer Games Done Quick 2025, because if you haven't heard, submissions are open for that right now, and they close on March 31st, which is Trans Day Visibility. That is Monday, so you need to get your submissions in for that right now. It'll be live in Minneapolis, July 6th through 13th, and if you would like to volunteer or run at the event, yeah, like I said, run applications close March 31st, and so do volunteer applications. You can also register by May 26th, and you can use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more information. Hey, looks like we got the game back. Let's go.
Yep. Things are back. Oh, okay. Please, Dementium, be nice. Okay, it's working. Excellent. All right. So, Dementium 2. This is a first-person survival horror game that was originally released on the Nintendo DS, and then somehow got ported out to the PC in HD. So that's a pretty cool backstory for this game. But this game just kind of got goofier when it changed over. When it was on the DS, it felt like really interesting and appropriate for being on that particular console. And then when it went to PC, it was just kind of like, I don't think this game was made to be on the PC. And it's one of the things that shows up in this when you see that is whenever you launch the game, I have 2 monitors. It launches between those monitors each time, and that's because of leftover code that's meant to be on the DS for 2 monitors. Kind of cool. So, first glitch of the game, we take that adrenaline syringe, we use it, then we save our game, and then we're going to load that game that we just saved, and voila, we have infinite adrenaline now. There is an orange bar next to the red bar that you will see on the left, and it just won't go down. We'll just be getting the effects of having infinite adrenaline, which includes doing a little bit more damage and also, more importantly, going faster. So it's pretty cool. That's a really easy, simple glitch that anyone can do if they play this game. This is the first boss of the game, just a big, bitey boy, and you can just kind of stab him, and then he's defeated. We're gonna grab this gun, grab this key card, and then we'll go into the room filled with the zombies that moo at you. Indeed, zombies moo. Just a fun fact about zombies that, in case y'all didn't know, that's what they do. That's what they sound like. And I guess it makes sense. Zombies are referred to as a herd of zombies when they're in a group, so I don't know, the logic checks out for me. The reason that I'm walking to the side of these enemies is because I can do even more damage to them and kill them quicker if I can get them to fall back into the weapon while I'm swinging it, and you get kind of like double hits as they fall backwards into your knife while you're swinging it instead of just the one hit. So, yeah, that's a cool little trick that you can also do. There's these dudes that are chasing me. They won't catch me. And it's not only just because I have my adrenaline that is infinite adrenaline right now. It is also because, well, they're just not as fast as me. And they basically will not catch you unless you're just standing still. They're kind of just useless enemies in general. But yeah, I wanted to say that I know what this game is about now, I think. So there's these weird cutscenes that you get of like this woman who appears in various costumes and outfits, and we don't know who she is, but she's very beautiful. And there's also this villain that's kind of threatening us the whole game, saying that he's gonna, like, amongst other things, do some weird mind control stuff to us, but also is going to, like, rule the world and end the world and some sort of apocalyptic thing. It's a little bit unclear. So what I have determined is that we think that women are beautiful, and this dude is trying to go into our brain and take out the thoughts that make us realize that women are beautiful. And once he's done that, then he'll make everyone see that women aren't beautiful, and then the world will end. So we have to stop that from happening. That's the plot of this game, I'm pretty sure. I'm just pretty sure that's the plot of this game.
I know nothing about this game, and I'm just going to say that sounds about right.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're just kind of like going through these tunnels. It's a bit dark. These enemies that are kind of like these smoke cloud monsters from the hit TV show Lost, some of you might recall. If they run into you, they send you to a place that I call Thunderdome. It's basically just a little arena with some enemies that you have to kill, and once you kill them, then you can get out. But you cannot get out before that, and since we're speedrunning, we're just not gonna let those dudes run into us. Like, you're definitely trying to avoid them normally, but those are kind of the worst to hit in the speedrun because they actively make you lose time by transporting you to another place and making you experience that. So we're almost done with chapter 1 here, and there hasn't been too many skips or anything up to this point, but we're gonna start doing some silly stuff coming up with some save and loading shenanigans, and also coming up some out of bounds tech. Oh, this little blue ghost, he just makes you cold. I don't actually think that anything bad happens to you. I think your screen gets a little bit blue and you start walking a little strange, but that's about it. It's better to just avoid him though, because that strange walking that I mentioned can slow you down a little bit. We're using the hammer to just bust through here and get into this door. And we're gonna come to our first puzzle. If y'all are familiar with survival horror games, puzzles like this shouldn't seem too unusual, you know? They are pretty straightforward and basic, but this one is, the positions on this lock are randomized every time, but how to solve it is not one of those, adjust one thing, another knob moves, adjust one knob, that makes another knob move, but once you understand how the knobs move, it's not really that big of a deal. Alright, so here's some of that silly save load stuff. We're gonna come over here and save. Now, every time you say new game to this game, it has already decided what the codes for all the door locks are going to be. So what we are doing is we are on our way to find out what the door lock is for one particular door. And when we get it, we're just gonna load our save so that, because that save is closer to the door than we currently are when we get the combination to the door. So let's take a look at it. It is 671. And that means that this door right over here, code is 671. Now that we have that, we can finally get this one key and kind of do a little bit of tracking back to where we were. You'll see the path that we took before, but now we have a key, so that's important. Also, there's these little slug guys on the ground. You can try not to step on them. They don't slow you down if you do, but they do hurt you, and we don't want to get too injured. Also, this is a little thing that I did earlier, but there's enough collision on the side of that wall that if you're just jumping at the wall, it'll just suspend you in the air while you're jumping across. Same thing with this, you're not intended to just be able to jump down here. You're supposed to go around into a building, out the other side, do a fight that gets you in there, but actually you can simply just crouch jump through that little gap in the balcony there. I love little tricks like that, where it's like, or...
I love funny movement skips like that.
Yeah, they're so much fun. I'm so attracted to speedrunning games that have little quirks of like, or what if you can just make that jump? Which, I mean, Helix yourself used to Super Monkey Ball. I know that you're used to the idea of, what if you can just make that? What if you can simply just go there?
That's the whole game.
Yeah.
You'll see that tomorrow.
Alright, on to the second boss fight. First I'm gonna grab ammo over here, just kind of a safety strat for... There's two bosses that we're gonna use pistol ammo on. This one and the final boss, and there's no other opportunities really to pick up ammunition, so if I do real bad in this fight, I'll kind of be in bad shape for the final boss, so I just grabbed that ammo. That's a little bit more convenient to grab. So this enemy, where did this enemy go? This is interesting. Oh, there you are. Normally, she spawns a lot closer when she does her whole walk in the woods trick. I was literally about to say, she has a number of things she can do. She doesn't just fly at you, because that's usually the thing she does the most. But she immediately did something extremely unusual. Here she's doing this one again. No, she's doing some of the slowest tech that one can possibly have in this boss fight RNG. That's okay though, because she's not a difficult boss, she can just be a stubborn boss. Alright, now that we've taken care of her, we have this code that we just got on the back there, I actually found through experimentation, because this gate is shut, but you can get to it very early. And I actually found a way that you can out of bounds to the other side of that gate and get in that building we just were to get that code early. But you need to have the dagger that I currently have in order to open that door that's later with the code. So if it was just the code, that would be incredible tech that I found, but because you actually need the dagger to open the door as well as the code, it's less cool. It is kind of cool you can go out of bounds to get there, though. So right now we just kind of have a long run back to the building that we were in previously. So for a bunch of backtracking, Helix, if there's any announcements you want to make, this is like the best time to make them.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned the GDQ Discord yet, but you all should be in if you are not. You can add the Hotfix role in there as well. And with that, you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Highly, highly recommend joining that Discord, giving yourself the role if you want to keep up to date on all things Hotfix. I mean, as I'm sure some of you know, there are different games on every week, and you should totally check them out. Definitely stay informed, because there's lots of cool stuff, like what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to do this event because as a trans woman, I think that trans visibility right now is an extremely important thing. And I also, like, frankly, whenever I see Helix's name attached to any event that's being run, I'm like, I should see if I can be a part of that, because Helix is very cool.
That's the sentiment I've gotten from the entire community, really, is that everyone is just really excited about this event, which is awesome, because I feel like they're all kind of paralleling my energy, because I am also very excited about this event. I would hope so, given that I helped organize it, but you get my point.
Absolutely.
The community is very excited, and not just the trans people, just like the speedrun community as a whole, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I've actually said before that one of the things I appreciate the speedrunning community in general for is it's an extremely inclusive community when it comes to like GDQ and marathons and raising money for various charities, or just like mutual aid and care for each and every one of us. Like, really, really cool community, and anybody who's wanting to be more of a part of it, like, it's very accepting, and that's very cool.
It's nice too, because with everything going on, it's really easy to kind of fall into, oh, what can I do, and this is a way we can give back, by putting on events like this and other events that GDQ and other marathons do. Also, we're out of bounds.
We are, yeah. This is the first out of bounds trick in the game. What we are trying to do is save our game at a specific spot that will make the game think that we're at the same time in bounds as we are out of bounds. Like, basically, you want to make it think that we're doing both. And if we do both, it will load in the entire map just like that, instead of just the one room at a time. And that is how you can just get out of bounds and go to a whole new area. And that skips the hardest and longest puzzle in the game. And it also skips quite a bit of things that you would have to do in kind of like the background of going through this game to complete it normally. So lots of fights that you're forced into. It skips a lot. So that's a cool one. But you will see similar things coming up pretty soon in this one. And about this run, I also wanted to mention, if you are a speedrunner or have wanted to be a speedrunner, and ideas like going out of bounds, glitching through walls, and things like that have always been very intimidating for you, but you've always wanted to do it anyways. I highly recommend picking this run up. I do have a speedrun tutorial that I have made for this game, and it's a very approachable game. Right now, we're just gonna try to jump up in here. Hey, get out of here. Ouch. We're trying to do a specific jump onto these cabinets. There we go. And then we're just gonna fall through. There's a save point in this room, and we just come out the other side, and we skip the whole other forced combat section that we would have to do. So now we have to do this forced combat section. This game is real big in the casual gameplay of doing these kind of like locked room forced combat sections. So the idea of the speedrun is let's try to skip as many of them as we can, which is the whole idea of going out of bounds, because some of the out of bounds tech, you might look at it, and if you're familiar with the game, you might think, that doesn't look like it saves altogether that much time. It actually does, because even though we might just be doing all of this to get into the next room, going through the door usually triggers like a whole combat section that you're forced into to kill everything in the room, and then you can progress. So we basically try to skip all of that. So now we're gonna do this same trick, but this time we're gonna jump backwards through, because we loaded in the whole map again. And now we're gonna run along this wall, and this skips quite a few of those forced combat locked room sections, just so that we can get over here and come over to the next boss. So there's this little path leading to the next boss. We haven't used this machine gun yet. We only use it in the speedrun for this one boss because I don't know what it is about this boss, but allergic to bullets. These specific bullets. And that's the entire boss fight. From Software, take notes. That's how you do a good boss fight. All right. So now we have the biggest and most difficult skip in the game. Another little out of bounds trick. We call this the mine skip. This saves about 11 minutes of gameplay casually. First, we just jump onto this rock. There's little spaces of collision where you can actually just kind of jump onto the whole thing. We're gonna come over here onto this edge. We're gonna fall in such a way that we get in between the walls. And we save, load the save. And now we're gonna try to load in the whole map again. There's a very specific spot to stand. It's like pixel hunting, basically. And once we get it, we'll see the map on our left side and our right side completely loaded in. I must just be right on the edge of it. Man. Just right in here. Where are you? Where are you? Very specific spot.
Classic finicky speedrun scamp.
Yeah. The only good thing about this trick is like, if you spend a minute trying it, you're still ultimately saving 10 minutes compared to doing it casually. In the meantime, we get to hear the protagonist breathe real heavily. This is actually interesting. Come on, you know you want to let me in. You know you want to load in everything.
Oh, this is being so mean.
It is. Hmm. I'm pretty sure I'm there.
The game is sentient. It knows it's on
Yeah.
the GDQ channel.
It does.
We
It
established
does.
this at the beginning.
Yeah, it's just being extremely stubborn. It knows that I'm trying to show off and is therefore very upset with me. Okay. Why are you being so upset with me? When I said that this trick was hard, I didn't mean this hard.
I've had my fair share of dance.
Yeah, I mean, there it is.
Hey,
Okay.
there we go. Nice.
Every runner, it's, as they say, if people are not familiar with the term, what they call marathon luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and there we go. We just skipped that whole mine level section, and here's this big friend. The only way to defeat this boss is to not let it catch you, for one, but pick up these dynamite sticks and throw them at this boss. And if you hit it in the right spot, you get to do extra damage. And I say the right spot without specifying it because I think the right spot is supposed to be inside of its mouth, but I think that's just the intention and not actually the way that the game turned out when it was released. Because sometimes I hit it in the shoulder and that seems to do the most damage, and sometimes I'll hit it in the same exact spot and it will do less. So the exact right spot is unclear. It seems to change often. But the dynamite is the only thing that gets rid of it. Alright, looks like one more dynamite stick will do it. Sometimes you get lucky and you hit that sweet spot and it's already gone, but sometimes it takes an extra one. So this drops this boomerang piece that we get. We've been building the ultimate weapon this entire time, which is the thing in my hand right now. Guess what? We are never going to use it because it's actually not as good as the knife. It's pretty cool, but because of speedrun strats, the knife is just faster at killing enemies. So that's the answer to that puzzle. It's always the same. All the other puzzles in this game, they like change, they're different, but that one always has the same solution. So that's pretty cool. This tunnel always makes me nervous because there is a friend of mine who I got to speedrun this game a while ago, former world record holder of this game, until I took it back. And they wanted to get the world record back, but now every time they play the game crashes on them in that tunnel. And it doesn't seem to happen for anyone else, just them. But, like, I'm nervous. It still makes me nervous going through there because I'm like, what if today is the day? All right, we're gonna go back on these cabinets. I love these cabinets. They're so helpful. Right. And we load the game there. Jump on through back after loading up the whole area. And this time, while we're running on a similar path, it's not the exact same path. We just got to go through this door instead. So the room that we're about to be in is the one that we hopped into on the first out of bounds to grab the assault rifle. We actually are supposed to come from this direction, see this door, and start looking for the relic weapon, which we found at the end of that one boss fight. But we never went that way because we went out of bounds. So now we're seeing it for the first time. Now, this next part is all RNG, and if y'all know the speedrunner NBZ, also former world record holder, they were the ones that found out that you can actually just guess this password because it can only be one of 7 things. We all knew that. But nobody was guessing because we had integrity and didn't want to add RNG to this game. But then NBZ came along and said, no, what if I got world record by guessing? So now we're all playing this silly game, guessing. Second try is not bad. What I'm saying is next time you see NBZ, go say something like, how dare you ruin the Dementium 2 HD run, and shake your finger at them. Alright, this is all basically just fall through holes in the ground till we get to a few rooms that we have to stop in and kill all the things in them, like this one. And we do this up until we reach the final boss, which I want to point out, in case you're wondering, like, all right, well, I won't know who the final boss is because, you know, obviously I haven't played this game. Astrid's been skipping the cutscenes, haven't been picking up the lore notes. There is no way that you could ever predict that the final boss of this game is just basically the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob SquarePants.
You're right. I would not have guessed that. That sentence threw me for a loop. Thank you.
You're welcome. This game is fascinating and I love it. Also, these little brain things are the enemy of the speedrun because while they're no tougher than the other enemies, when you knock them down, they push you backwards, and that just makes killing them take longer. So you want to try to stand in a specific spot when fighting them. It sucks, though. I do not like them. Little brain crab things. These little platforming sections are free, by the way, because of that infinite adrenaline that we got earlier. That platforming section's actually like, hey, you know, there's a risk you might fall, you might hurt yourself, you might not make the jump, but with infinite adrenaline, you're moving so fast that there's no way you miss that jump. Those jumps are all free. Alright, this is the final little room to clear out. If it looks like I'm taller than all the enemies here, it's because sometimes you get in this room and it makes you just float above the ground a little bit. So I'm floating right now, I'm not even walking. Just a fun little thing. So we're on to the final boss. There's a little bit more gameplay after, but not much. Here's the worm. Basic, survival horror boss. Shoot the big glowing thing that's on it and try not to die. There's RNG for this boss fight too. You want it to do the one where it just stands there and shoots things at you because it has to open its mouth a whole bunch and be a stationary target. But like this one right here, that's what I like. Alright, 2 more shots and that'll take care of it. This might be it here. There we go, and time is coming up right when we get to the end of this hall. And time.
Alright, GG. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, what's the right word here? They think horror games end up being like kind of a walking simulator, which is, especially I think as of recently, I've seen a lot of horror games that are definitely not the case, and this was absolutely one of them. Lots of ridiculous stuff going on here.
Yeah, this is, I said earlier, like, Dementium 2, I feel, is like the bar for me of like, if you're gonna make a survival horror game in today's day and age, it's either got to be better than Dementium 2, or it's got to be at least as silly as Dementium 2 for it to be really, really fun. I really love this game, and I hope that more people pick it up. I have a speedrun tutorial for it. I'm the current world record holder. Defeat me if you can. We're still finding strats, and would love to see y'all there. And until then, thank y'all for having me on Trans Day of Visibility. As a trans woman, this day is extremely important to me, and like we said before, it is an incredibly important day to celebrate in today's current climate and such things. And Helix, you're wonderful. Thank you very much for having me. And this event is terrific. And I hope that y'all will continue to enjoy watching it today and also tomorrow.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad we were able to include you. You know, I think you're a great voice for the community, so it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Our horror block will continue with Crow Country right after this, but this is another great point to, you know, stretch your legs, get some water. Meds reminder for those of you who have to do that. We will be right back with Crow Country in just a few minutes. Exclamation point trans visibility in the chat. Check out the schedule for the rest of the night and tomorrow. And we will see you all right here very soon.